Leo, let's be real. If someone told you that between October 17th and 20th, the universe could rain money and miracles into your life, would you believe them? Or would you shrug it off like one more video that promises too much? Well, I'm not here to sell you fantasy. I'm here to share what's real, and what's showing up in the sky right now is more than just astrology. It's alignment. It's movement. And if you're watching this, it means something inside you is already in motion too. This video is your personal cosmic briefing. Not just predictions, but a wake-up call. Between the 17th and 20th of October, Leo, 6 powerful numbers will begin vibrating in your field. They are not random. They're keys. Think of them as energetic passwords, unlocking opportunities in your finances, emotions, physical health, and deeper purpose. And no, you didn't land on this video by chance. Whether it was a gut feeling, a strange coincidence, or something you can't explain, you're here because you were meant to hear this. Look, know how it feels to keep pushing, to keep showing up, to look strong on the outside while something inside whispers, "There's more for me than this." Maybe that's why you're here. Maybe, like me, you've reached a point in your life where you're no longer interested in playing small. You're not chasing luck. You're learning how to listen. You're learning how to receive. So, Leo, let me ask you, what brought you here today? Was it a number you keep seeing over and over? A dream you haven't been able to shake? A strange sense that something big is about to happen? That feeling is real. And you're not crazy for sensing it. In fact, you're right on time. Because the truth is, you're standing at the edge of a shift, not just outside of you, but within. That's what these 6 numbers represent. Not just potential money or change, but alignment. Purpose. A return to your natural rhythm, the one the world might have pulled you away from, but that was never lost. This isn't just a reading. This is an invitation to show up differently, to step into a chapter where you're not begging for answers, but recognizing the ones that have been circling you for weeks. Before we dive in, I want to take a moment to thank you for being here. Every like, every comment, every time you share or subscribe, it's more than engagement. It's energy. And it allows this space, this channel, to keep reaching the people who need it most. That includes you. So take a deep breath with me. Shake off the noise. Let your guard down just for a few minutes. This is your space. Your moment. Your signal. And Leo, if even one line in this video speaks to something you've been quietly holding in your heart, I want you to comment below. Share the number that resonates most with you. Not just for luck, but to claim what's already moving toward you. Writing it is your way of saying yes. Because the shift isn't coming. It's already here. Are you ready to recognize it? Then stay with me, Leo, because what's coming next might just change everything. Leo, something about this week feels like fire under your feet, doesn't it? It's subtle at first. Maybe you've been feeling more restless than usual, pacing mentally even when your body's still. Or maybe there's this quiet hum inside of you, this urge to move, to do, to create, even if you can't quite explain where it's all coming from. That's not anxiety. That's Mars. And right now, it's working in beautiful harmony with your sun. Yes, your sun, Leo, setting the stage for bold movement and explosive opportunity. When Mars aligns like this, it's like the universe gently hands you a match and whispers, "Now." Not to burn it all down but to light what's been waiting in the dark for too long. This isn't about blind risk. This is about conscious, heart-led action, the kind that comes from knowing your worth, not proving it. If you've been hesitating to start something, doubting whether it's the right time to launch, to speak, to claim that seat at the table, this energy says, it is. But here's the deeper truth. This is not about how much you can do. It's about how aligned your doing is with your being. You can run in 1,000 directions and never move forward. But one aligned step in the right moment? That's what changes everything. And Leo, that moment is now. It's important to notice what your body is telling you, too. With Mars lighting up your energy field, your nervous system might be running a little hotter. You might feel mentally overstimulated, even wired at night. Magnesium and zinc can help regulate that. But more than that, your body needs rest that's rooted in trust, the kind of sleep you get when you know you're safe to let go. Because your next big move won't come from exhaustion. It'll come from a place of renewal. This is where action becomes sacred. Think about it like a bow and arrow. If you're always tense, always pulling back, you'll never release. And if you're always launching without aim, you'll never hit the mark. But when you're grounded and intentional, that's when your shot lands exactly where it needs to go. Financially, you might notice small but meaningful shifts. A refund you weren't expecting. A spontaneous opportunity. A creative offer. An idea that turns into income faster than you thought. These aren't random. They're the echoes of a universe responding to your readiness. And yes, it might feel fast. But it's not out of control. You're not spinning, you're accelerating. The key is to do it with grace. So here's a simple practice. Write down 3 ways you could increase momentum in your life this week without sacrificing your peace. Maybe it's streamlining your work routine, finally starting that side hustle, or simply responding to an email you've been putting off. The point isn't to do more, it's to act from a place of clarity and courage. Sometimes, divine timing doesn't come with trumpets. It comes with a deep breath and a sudden knowing that this is it. That you've waited long enough. That the window is open. That you don't need to be perfect, just willing. And if you're still waiting for a sign to begin, Leo, let this be it. Let this be the moment you stop holding back, not because you're afraid but because you finally remember. You don't have to earn your breakthrough. You just have to say yes to it. Now tell me, what's the one thing you've been holding off on that your spirit is nudging you to act on this week? Share it in the comments, not just to declare it, but to anchor it. Because when you name it, you bring it into form. And there is nothing more Leo than turning intention into impact. There's a moment subtle but unforgettable when your heart softens, and suddenly, the world feels a little less loud. A little less demanding. In that space, even for a split second, you remember who you are when you're not trying so hard to prove anything. That's what the energy of the number 14 is here to teach you, Leo. Not to push harder or run faster, but to let in what's been waiting patiently at the edge of your awareness. Right now, Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and personal value, is in soft conversation with the South Node, which often represents old patterns, inherited beliefs, and the emotional residue we didn't know we were still carrying. When these two meet, it's like the universe is offering you a mirror. Not to criticize. but to invite you to see whether the version of value you've been living by is actually still yours. Have you been measuring your worth by what you do, how much you produce, how much you earn, how useful you are to others? Or have you been quietly wondering if maybe there's a gentler way? Because money doesn't only follow effort. Sometimes, it follows alignment. And for you, Leo, that alignment starts with the heart. This transit is asking you to pause and question, what do you really value? Not what the world told you to value. Not what gets likes, praise, or attention. But what you, at your core, genuinely cherish. Maybe it's creating something beautiful. Maybe it's nurturing others. Maybe it's just having the time and space to breathe, to be. Here's the catch: the very things you thought were just personal passions may actually be your most magnetic source of income and abundance. So many people chase money by disconnecting from their feelings. But for you right now, it's the opposite. Your prosperity is linked to your willingness to feel, to care, to be moved again. This is where emotional healing becomes a financial key. If your heart's been heavy, anxious, or guarded lately, that's not a flaw. That's a signal. That's your body telling you it's time to ease the pressure on your chest, literally and metaphorically. Meditations that focus on the heart chakra, slow breathing, limiting stimulants like caffeine, and even just placing your hand over your heart while listening to 432 Hz music, all of these are ways of telling your nervous system, you're safe now. You don't have to hustle for love or security anymore. This moment isn't about fixing your finances through force. It's about letting go of an old story that says you have to sacrifice your emotional well-being to be successful. The truth is, you don't. In fact, the more emotionally honest you are, the more financially magnetic you become. Because people can feel authenticity. And when you're living in tune with what you love, opportunities find you without chasing. So here's something you can try tonight. Write this sentence on a piece of paper, slowly and with care: I am worthy of unconditional wealth, and I honor my boundaries as sacred. Say it aloud. Not to manifest instantly, but to remind your entire system what it forgot under all the pressure. You don't have to be anyone else to deserve more. Leo, money is energy and it flows where the heart is open. You've spent a long time leading with strength. Now you're being asked to lead with softness, too. Not weakness, softness. There's a difference. And in that space, where strength and softness meet, your next chapter begins to bloom. You don't need to chase this. You just need to allow it. That's where the magic starts. That's where the money comes in. Quietly. Gently. Fully. Because finally, you're ready to receive it. There are moments in life when everything shifts, not with a grand event or a loud sign, but with something as simple as your own voice. That's the energy number 3 carries right now for you, Leo. And if you've been feeling like there's something you need to say, something you've been holding back, unsure if the timing is right, this might be exactly that moment. With Mercury, the planet of communication, aligning with Uranus, the planet of sudden breakthroughs and electric change, the air is alive with possibility. But here's the thing. Possibility doesn't do anything until you speak it into form. You don't have to be a public speaker to understand the power of language. All it takes is one honest sentence, a truth said out loud, and the energy around you changes. Think back on your life. How many times did a single conversation open a door? How often did speaking your needs, your vision, or even your boundaries shift the way others responded to you? When Mercury and Uranus dance together like this, the potential for that kind of pivot increases tenfold. A random message, a bold introduction, a podcast comment, a proposal, even a tweet, all of it holds the power to trigger the kind of financial or creative shift you've been hoping for. But let's slow this down for a second. Because this isn't about forcing your voice out of fear or trying to impress. It's about reconnecting with the part of you that knows your voice is a channel, a transmitter. Not just of information, but of energy, clarity, and alignment. If your throat has felt blocked lately, tightness, soreness, even thyroid issues or tension in the neck, that's not just physical. That's energetic. The body knows when you're silencing yourself. The body knows when there's truth you're not giving shape to. Try this. Stand in front of a mirror today, just for 1 minute. Not to judge yourself, but to speak a simple phrase with presence. Say, "My words create money. My voice opens doors." And then take a breath. Feel what rises. That small act might sound too simple to matter, but simplicity is often where the deepest healing lies. Financially, this is a time when opportunities are most likely to come through your connections, your message, or your ideas. But they only show up if you're willing to share them. I've seen people miss out on what was meant for them not because they weren't qualified but because they never made the call. Never sent the pitch. Never said, "Here's what I do." And Leo, you were not made to shrink into silence. You were made to speak with heart, with warmth, with impact. So if there's an email you've been avoiding, a message you've drafted but never sent, a conversation you've been rehearsing in your head, this is your signal. It's not just about business or income. It's about reclaiming agency over your life. It's about honoring that what you say has weight, and when you say it with intention, the world listens differently. Let this moment be a reminder, your words are not just sounds. They are seeds. They carry vibration, memory, and momentum. And when you speak from clarity, even the smallest phrase can set something massive into motion. Not because you're trying to force an outcome, but because your voice, when aligned, becomes a key. So go ahead. Make the call. Send the message. Say what needs to be said, not for approval, but for alignment. And if something shifts because of it, don't be surprised. The universe has just been waiting for you to speak first. There comes a point when even the brightest among Uzis, even you, Leo, realizes that holding on too tightly is costing more than it's giving. You've likely felt it recently, a subtle pressure in your chest, a quiet awareness that something in your financial rhythm no longer matches the frequency you've grown into. That's not failure. That's evolution. And when the sun, the planet that rules your sign, enters the 8th house, the realm of transformation, shared resources, debt, and deep energetic exchange, it's not just a shift in astrology. It's an invitation to clean the slate and start again with deeper integrity. This is the energy of number 19. A number that doesn't rush, doesn't dramatize, but gently shines light on what's ready to be released. Not because it was wrong, but because it has simply run its course. You may feel pulled to finally pay something off, end a financial obligation, close a recurring expense, or even let go of a mindset around money that once helped you survive but no longer helps you grow. It may feel bittersweet. But that bittersweetness is proof you're doing something real. something brave. Your finances aren't just numbers. They're energy. And the way you relate to them reveals so much about what you believe you deserve. If you've been operating from a space of fear, scarcity, or obligation, it's not your fault. But it is your responsibility to shift the story now that you see it. This isn't about overnight wealth. It's about soul-aligned stewardship. Money that stays, grows, and nourishes you because it's built on clarity, not chaos. When the sun illuminates the 8th house, it has a way of revealing not just the debts you owe to others, but also the debts you've been carrying that no one sees. Maybe you've been emotionally overextending. Maybe you've been energetically overcommitting. Or maybe you've been giving parts of yourself away too cheaply, saying yes when your body said no, holding silence when your soul wanted to speak. Financial healing, in this season, isn't just about bank statements. It's about boundaries. It's about knowing what is yours to carry and what it's time to set down. There's also a physical dimension to this. If you've been feeling tired in a way that sleep doesn't fix, craving sunlight, or sensing a strange heaviness in your body, that's your system signaling a need to reconnect with life force. Vitamin D, movement, breath, these are not small things right now. They're medicine. Because your body knows that letting go isn't just an idea. It's a physiological process. And when your body feels safe to release, your spirit can finally rise into what's next. Try this. Write down 3 financial habits, beliefs, or cycles you know you're ready to retire. Be honest, not harsh. Maybe it's overspending for emotional comfort. Maybe it's undercharging for your worth. Maybe it's just saying yes when you mean not right now. Naming them doesn't mean judging yourself. It means claiming your readiness for a new chapter, one where your money, your energy, and your time reflect who you've become. Leo, don't be afraid of endings. Especially not now. The sun in the 8th house is like a gentle hand on your back saying, you've outgrown this. And something better is waiting. You don't have to force the next blessing. You just have to create space for it. The beauty of number 19 is that it carries both the wisdom of all that came before, and the spark of something entirely new. So breathe. Let go with love. And get ready. Because when you release what no longer fits, the universe doesn't leave you empty. It brings you what you were always meant to hold. There's something unspoken that happens when you start trusting yourself again, not from a place of perfection or certainty, but from the soft, steady center that whispers, this feels right. That's the core of what the number 11 is about right now, especially as the portal of 1111 slowly begins to open and the moon moves through Sagittarius, a sign known for its spiritual truth-seeking and desire to live with purpose. You may not see all the signs clearly, Leo, but if your inner knowing has been growing louder, don't ignore it. This isn't the kind of week where logic leads. It's the kind where intuition becomes the compass. You've probably felt it, an inner tug, a gut feeling, a quiet pause before saying yes or no. We're taught to dismiss that. To overthink. To reason our way through every decision, especially those tied to money. But right now, it's the feeling that matters more than the math. A financial opportunity might show up through a route that makes no practical sense but resonates deeply with your values or long-held dreams. This is the kind of alignment that money loves to respond to, not manipulation, not hustle, but energy that's true to who you are becoming. If you're facing a decision, whether personal or financial, place your hand on your chest, breathe slowly, and ask yourself the simplest question: does this bring me peace? That peace, not excitement, not fear, will tell you everything. Because when something is meant for you, it doesn't rush in with chaos. It arrives like a quiet exhale after you've been holding your breath too long. You don't need to chase what you've already attracted by becoming the person who's ready for it. Then comes the energy of number 30. A number that, on the surface, might seem ordinary. But in truth, it holds the frequency of endings and beginnings folding into each other like waves. With the full moon peaking on October 17th, there's a threshold opening, a portal of completion that prepares you for something that wants to grow. But it can't bloom in clutter. Not energetic clutter. Not emotional clutter. And especially not financial clutter that's rooted in outdated beliefs about scarcity or unworthiness. This is where the inner work becomes practical. This is where healing meets action. Detox, in this case, isn't just about food or physical spaces. It's about the quiet emotional narratives you've been carrying around money. The ones that say, "It's hard, I'm not enough," or "Every time I get ahead, I fall back." We all have them. We inherited them, absorbed them, repeated them. But you don't have to carry them forward. On the evening of October 19th, take time to write a letter not to someone else, but to the version of you who believed those old stories. Thank that version. Because those beliefs helped you survive. But now, they're ready to be released. Burn the letter if it feels right. Not for drama, but for ritual. Let it be a gentle turning point. A signal to your nervous system, to your spirit, and to the universe that you are making room. Room for ease. Room for grace. Room for a new kind of wealth, a kind that doesn't require you to betray your peace in order to receive it. Leo, your fire is sacred. But it's not meant to be all-consuming. Sometimes, the most powerful transformation comes not from lighting another flame, but from letting the ashes settle and recognizing the quiet ground they leave behind as fertile. The numbers 11 and 30 are not opposite theory companions. One guides you inward. The other pulls you forward. Together, they form a loop of trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in timing. Trust that whatever you release now will return tenfold, not because you forced it, but because you finally made space for it to come home. Leo, if something stirred within you as you listened, if even one part of this message resonated deeper than usual, then trust that it wasn't random. Nothing about this moment is. The universe doesn't shout, it whispers. And today, it whispered to you. These numbers, this guidance, this shift you're feeling, theory not fantasies. They are real possibilities waiting to become your reality. But here's the truth, and it's important: no one can walk through that portal of wealth and alignment for you. Only you can step in. And maybe, just maybe, this is your moment to do so. You don't need to push harder. You don't need to hustle more. You've already done enough of that. What you need now is presence. Stillness. Clarity. A heart that is open enough to receive what's already moving in your direction. And the courage to believe you are worthy of receiving it without guilt, without apology, without delay. You don't have to wait for the perfect time. The perfect time is now. Because transformation doesn't begin when life gives you permission. It begins the moment you say yes to yourself, yes to your intuition, Yes to letting go of what no longer fits. Yes to showing up as the version of you that no longer hides behind fear or over-explaining. So let me ask you, Leo, what number from today's message felt like it was meant just for you? What part of your story did it touch? And more importantly, what will you do with that feeling? This isn't just about numbers. It's about activating something sacred within you. Comment that number below, not for superstition, but as a declaration. That you are open. That you are ready. That you are no longer waiting for someone else to validate what you've known all along. You were made for more. Send this message to someone you love, someone you believe is also on the edge of something beautiful. Sometimes, the most generous thing we can do is help someone else remember their power. And by sharing this, you become a messenger of hope, of clarity, of alignment. And if you haven't already, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to Eternal Mindfulness. Your support doesn't just keep this space alive, it helps it grow. Every like, every comment, every subscription is a ripple that reaches another soul who needs this kind of healing. And truly, from the deepest place in my heart, thank you. Your energy matters here. You matter here. Leo, you weren't born to play small. You weren't made to blend in. You are the light that walks into the room and reminds others of what power looks like when it's anchored in love. You are the roar behind silent dreams. You are the steady hand in a world of noise. And yes, you are the one who gets to say, I choose wealth, peace, purpose, and joy. I choose all of it. Because I finally believe I can have all of it. So breathe that in. Own it. Live it. And never forget, you are the gate. You are the channel. You are the millionaire portal you've been waiting for. We'll meet again, right on time.